It's on fire, folks. Hello, mayors. Hello, mayoresses. How are you all doing? I hope you're well. We're here to start another episode of Barbacini Island here on our Vanilla Island. And we're flying over the academic complex of our Asian village, which is this round plaza with the dormitories, right? Supposed university dormitories. And well, as you saw at the beginning of the video, there was a fire here, man. Where was it? Here, look, it's still on fire. A lot of cars and people pass by here. Look, it just collapsed. Live here. Look. Another building has already collapsed. This one had already collapsed. The other buildings are on fire here. It hasn't caught this one on the corner yet, thankfully, but the situation here is worrying. Where's the firefighter? The firefighter is here. He won't be able to get here in time, right? He wants to do what? Go around here, right? To come over here. And anyway, there won't be enough time because he's stuck. The traffic here is really congested. Now, I think it's stupid that he's not making the maneuver because of this motorcycle here in front, right? Probably more buildings here are going to collapse. Fire in the center of our Asian village here. And there's only this one truck, man. Where's the rest, dude? This thing is really inefficient, huh? So there was an accident here at the corner, right? And everything is blocked. Cars can't get through because there's a crashed car here. The firefighter, look, there's another firefighter here, look. But he probably won't be able to help anyone either. We have a Japanese fire department right here next door, man. Maybe I should put in a helipad, okay? And with the helipad, we get a notification about no car access. But it's not about cars, man. It's a hospital. It's a helicopter. Do I need to put this firefighting helicopter terminal here to make it work? Let's see. Let's try. I'll put it here. Look. Yeah, man. No, this is disaster control. It'll probably go over here. Here, firefighting helicopter terminal. Can I put this in the satellite village over here? Or maybe near the industries? That might be a good idea. Yeah, I'll put it here. Let's see if that notification gets resolved, right? The notification is still there. So, I don't know what it is. It's still on fire here. There's a traffic jam. Man, what a way to start the episode, huh? Really, really dramatic. Look, another one just fell here. This is going to be a party. And the helicopter just doesn't... Oh, now it's coming. There's still no car access here. Huh, the helicopter is going to another city? Where's this helicopter going, man? Look, it's going to fly over the mountain. Oh, it's coming here because there's an accident here too. An oil tanker truck. There's traffic here too, right? Ever since we made this intersection, there was never any traffic. Now, it's starting to get traffic. Man, things are really crazy here, you know? I started the episode with a death wave here. That's crazy. Well, but the episode is for us to expand here, right? This island. I'm wanting to finish it already, okay? For us to start something new here in the rest of the island. But there are still some parts left, right? I'm going to try to finish this whole section here in this episode. While let me see how we do it here with the crematorium. Add an extra incinerator, garage for the hearse. I didn't want to take up space in this area with that, you know? But I'm going to add another garage here. The fire is already over, right? There's no access for cars here, but the cars are still arriving, right? And the helicopter too, so I don't know what's going on. I'm going to remove this helipad now, so that notification doesn't stay there. All right, I think maybe just with this one it will be enough. Cool, right? Well, guys, no demand at all. None here for commerce. We have a lot of residential demand. That's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to put high density here closer, okay? Close to downtown, here in the center. I'm going to use this Chinese style, right? It's a shame we don't have high density Japanese here in the game, right? What we have is affordable housing here. I'm going to put some offices here on this corner. There, I finished here with a mix of residential and office, right? Since we have demand for both, I'll also put some high density residential closer to this avenue. Let's see what we can do, right? On this little curve at the corner, I'm going to put medium density. They usually fit in. Oh, the medium density is leaving, but I'm going to put in some more offices here. It can be low density right here, look, so we can meet that demand too. And look, it seems like this already took care of all the demands. Man, this game has a really serious problem. With notifications here for the convicted. Then I have to delete it and wait for it to grow again to see if it will grow. It already spawns bugged, okay. Now we have low density. What I'm going to do here, since this is still supposed to be a suburban area, right? Just like we did with this tip of the island. And low density doesn't have much of a secret. I'm going to close off this block here too. I had opened it up more to put the tram garage, right? I moved the tram garage over here because here it spawns the tram, right? And then I moved it back, right, after it was used. The trams were already spawned. But when the trams come in for maintenance, they don't leave anymore. See, we end up without vehicles again. One went for maintenance and never came back, right? There are 12 in the fleet. It's really buggy. Anyway, I couldn't solve it very well. And we really need to bring more people in, see? Because businesses are showing insufficient customers. Let's also check the unemployment situation here. 11% isn't bad. It's not bad at all. But if we bring in more people, it'll be really positive. I'll end up filling these blocks here. But here, right? On this street that gives access to the little road, right? I didn't want it to be a house, no. So I'm gonna put a business here. Actually, an office, yeah, we don't have demand for businesses. But I'm going to put an office. Over here, I'm also gonna put a lot of houses. And I'll put low density here as well. But I'm going to focus here on the avenue first. Man, commercial demand doesn't grow enough for us to put a business here. Look, the taxes are okay, but it's really the local demand that's bringing this down. The plan is to just put more people here, you know? The more people, the more customers, right? From here to here, right? From this street, I plan to work only with medium density. This high density area turned out well, see? The dual carriageway has traffic in both directions, and I added trees in the middle. It turned out really nice here because there's a great view of downtown. But now, I think it's really a matter of working with medium density. Look, I closed off this part here. Here you can also fit a lot. In the Chinese style, I put it here. From now on, I'll use the Japanese style. I wish there was some commerce with it, but demand isn't increasing. I'll keep the option for commerce open though. If it goes up at some point, I'll add it. I'm only going to put medium density here on the back streets. I'm even going to mix it here with some high density British style. I like it. I don't think it's that British, actually. I think it's pretty mixed, to be honest. So I end up using it sometimes. Not always. Let me see if one fits here too. Something that takes up this whole back area. I think an office would fit. Well, we're back to medium density. I'll put it here in these blocks. Low density now. Man, it's a slow process. Pretty repetitive. That's why I usually show this in time lapse, okay? And also, I don't usually do this in every episode. Here around this intersection, I'm going to place some offices too. Because we have demand, right? Also because I don't think anyone would want to live behind a highway access ramp here. I'm also going to put a lot of medium density here. Pretty much this whole corridor here. Yeah, I don't see anywhere else to put low density here, okay? Because I didn't want to keep putting little houses here near the suburbs, to be honest. Not near the suburbs. Near the central area, right? Well, the medium density went up a bit. I'm going to put it here in the back part of the avenue, like this. But we already know, right? The commerce apparently doesn't grow. And we needed to put some commerce here on this avenue. Also here near the beach, right? After all, it's nice to have shops on the waterfront. Put a high density from the southeastern United States, which is kind of a beachy climate, right? And I think it will fit here. It will look more or less like these buildings here. Look, they're not that tall, but they're actually pretty nice. And they match really well with the waterfront here, right? I think we can repeat this same process around here too. Look, then we have to work with these paths here too, to force the zoning around here and make something facing the waterfront. Let's see if we can do something cool here. Look, oh, it actually turned out nice. We managed to zone here too. Then when I remove the path here, the access gets disconnected, see? It's complicated, man. I'm thinking about it, you know. So we can meet this low density residential demand. To use this area to do something like this, okay? It's really to attract people, you know? But then I wouldn't make it so big, you know? A little smaller. And as if it were a gated community, maybe putting in a fairly wide avenue, you know? Because gated communities like wide avenues. Coming in here, look, all right, look, big avenue, and I don't know, maybe we could even, look, use this road here and keep making it come back here behind, right? Parallel to the train tracks, and give this secondary access here in the back. And then I come back here, right? That connection I had removed. I put a roundabout, right? To make it nice. And here too, look, at this end of the avenue we created, right? For our condo, a bigger roundabout. Really big, actually. It seems like it gets kind of buggy, right? When we put big roundabouts like this. All right, leave it like that. And here, look, this end. I could even turn this little dirt road here that doesn't serve any purpose into a paved asphalt road. I could even put a roundabout here, where I'm just going to borrow a little bit here from the guy's land to also put this roundabout here. And then I make a direct connection there with this new condominium, right? Here, look, it even goes under here, under this train track overpass. And then it stays connected here, right? Sometimes it even helps to ease the congestion at this intersection. Well, here's a gated community. You just have to draw the layout. Try to work with curved streets, right? From here to here, it's 536 meters, so half of that is 268 right here. Look, right here in the middle. You can't put it exactly in the middle. I'll put 64, okay? Because I'm going to make one more. I'm going to bring the street over here. And this street over here. Put a big roundabout here too. And work with circular streets. Okay, just like we did here in our university town, only on a bigger scale. Because here the idea is to make it a gated community. So I'm gonna give it plenty of space, so that we can create large lots. Look, from here to here, from here to here. And we won't even be able to put many rings of these circular streets either, because there won't be enough space. Look, I'm gonna complete the other sides of the circle here. If I make another smaller circle here in the back. It's kind of abstract, this here. But I'm liking it. Here I won't be able to close the circle, right? So I left it halfway here. I think I'll make a smaller one here too, in the same incomplete style. Just facing that way. Well, these people who build condos don't really worry much about the efficiency of the street layout, right? It's more about aesthetics. So it looks nice from above. So it's all good. If I fix this entrance here that turned out weird, I'll make it look nicer here. Look, this part here could also be completed here. Have it like this, more or less, right? And then connect it to this road as well. I think here we'll be able to close the circle. Look, here on this side. Well, there are still some big gaps left here for us to fill in. Here and here, okay? I'm gonna try to connect one circle to another here. Look, it's like I'm really gonna make another circle around this small one, right? Make another bigger circle here, but I won't. It's just so I have a base to be able to connect one thing to another here. Actually, I think it'll turn out bad like this. It would be something like this. Look, I would take a street here and bring it over here. Something like this, look. And then I would already create another entrance here. Here, I'm going to set up the condominium administration. It'll be on this street. Man, this turned out crazy, huh? Well, in the end, I actually liked it. What am I going to do? I'm going to clear everything here. The native trees. Done. And now on the roads, I'm going to plant foreign trees, right? Look, just like the condominiums do. And then guess what? I'm going to act like I'm sustainable. So I'm going to put a lot of this grass here on the sidewalk, right? It really reminds you of a condominium, doesn't it? And then it won't necessarily be a satellite city, right? Like that one over there. This should look like a condominium with only residences. The kind where you need a car just to buy bread in the morning. If it's not like that, I won't do it. Put some startups here, look, some offices in this central circle, and the rest all residential. And low density. I think I'm going to choose this low density British housing because they're really like mansions, I'll just put them everywhere here. All right, roll the dice. Let's wait for it to grow and see how it turns out, right? I don't think houses will grow here, and also, well, actually, they're already growing. I also don't think people would want to live under a train track. So maybe this part here, to be honest, I don't think I'll even zone it. Well, I'm gonna put a regular police station, right? A small one right here. A small fire station. And man, these condos don't have schools, right? Usually they don't. There are a lot of those little squares, right? With courts, basketball, and so on. I'll put that in. A park with exercise equipment. I'm even going to create a district here to help us know, right, how many people are living here. Anyway, to give more details. Meanwhile, here in the Japanese city, right, a lot of traffic. Look at the huge traffic jam that's forming here all the way to the start of the bridge. And that's because everyone, look, wants to get in here. And why does everyone want to get in here? Because this is where we zoned, right, at the beginning of the episode. So a lot of new construction ended up attracting a lot of people at once. But we know that this will pass, right? It ends up going away later. And look, the demand for commerce is back. So I'm going to go ahead and pick here, look, mixed Japanese style, which is commerce and medium density. And I'm going to use it right here, look, on this avenue. That was the space I left reserved. And also, let's be honest, it looks really weird like this. So it's going to be our priority here to fill everything in. Look, the Californian buildings turned out like this. this one grew facing this way. And its side with this white wall here, look, I didn't really like it. So let's see if it grows at least, right? I'm gonna have to remove this zoning here so it grows facing the street. Here, look on this coastline. I'm going to put some coastal zoning here in the European style. Here I'm going to use the American style so we can have a good variety. And over here too. The demand is there, right? But growth just doesn't really happen, does it? Go figure. Look, here, great. Everything managed to grow. I didn't like this part because it didn't fit. It didn't close off here, right? This section. So I'm gonna end up deleting it. There we go. Now that's much better. Look, this block kind of glitched here, okay? Because I set the zoning for it to grow here, but it kind of doesn't grow. Oh, this one grew, but here it doesn't work, see? So what am I going to have to do? I'm going to have to try deleting and redoing this zoning here. I don't know if it doesn't fit. I think one zoning doesn't fit with the other here, see? It doesn't look well aligned. And then it doesn't count. Now it worked, more or less. Now this one got messed up. Anyway, this block is going to be a bit of work. I'll try to organize it here with these paths. Maybe add some small parks here too. Fill this area with a lot of trees, right? These gaps that are created by the blocks, the more misaligned ones. Here too, see, I left this space, this gap between the buildings, right? Exactly to have these walkways here and so we can fill this area. Look, here you can also fit some trees inside the block. Here on the edge, some smaller ones. Look, this park here, this square fit perfectly in the size of this block too. You can add a lot of trees. And then, little by little, right, we start filling in the inside of the blocks here with lots of trees. And there are still some blocks left, right, which I don't think I'll have time to finish in this episode. My intention was to complete this whole area, but it looks like that's not going to happen. Look, no businesses are growing here. I need to check out this problem too. Here, look, on this coast too, we can finish it with the trees we were using on the other side. It's also good to have trees here, between the bike lane and the highway and the houses themselves here. We're also going to put the little sound barrier here, right, to close off this side too. Maybe now even this line here, right, will start to be used more. And there are even some spots here that are pretty crowded. Look, this one has 70, this one has 100. Which one is it? Oh, it's the more central spot here, right? There are a lot of people waiting, right? There's one here that's leaving full. And it's really from here, look, from this area, because this spot here is also starting to fill up. I'm going to check how the usage is on this line, this one, the Asiatica via Porto. 65% is still okay. It's really people moving, right? From this village here to the historic village, moving from one village to another, that's what's happening. And there's no way to increase it, right? The maximum is 18 vehicles they're already running. In fact, they're all gathered here. Look, this area is causing heavy traffic due to the parking building, which I've already made expensive. And it's everyone, look, who comes here and wants to park. So this street here gets congested. It's the same thing that happens here too, okay? I put up a parking building, right, so it's probably going to cause a traffic problem. Well, our new gated community area here might also deserve some attention. Man, they love to plant palm trees, don't they? Trees that don't give shade are a specialty of gated communities. Guess which one I'm going to plant? It'll be this one, the Thai one. No, the Indian one. I'm going to plant a lot of them here on the avenues. Look at this big corridor, huh? Really has that gated community vibe. These traffic lights here, they don't even need to exist. So I'm going to remove them and replant here. Right here and fill these gaps. That way the vegetation will get pretty dense, right? And it turned out nice. It's, okay, I'll leave it like this. And also, you can see there's a view of downtown over there. So guys, check it out. This is how our condo turned out. Closed, well, closed in quotes, right? Anyone can come in, but it's to simulate what a gated community would be like. Quiet, peaceful streets with no one walking around. Lots of big houses, right? I even saw one here with a for sale sign. Where is it? I think it was this way. Let me see if there's still any for sale. No, I think they've all been sold already. If you missed your chance and didn't get your house here, you'll have to wait for Barbosa Cities to build the next gated community. It's something I don't usually do. And here we have, look, one of the curved streets and all. It's cute, right? It's really nice. You can't see the skyscrapers from here. Look, a little further this way, we can see some buildings in the background, which is our island. Look, from here, if we go up a bit. Now that's something. Now you can see it. That's how it turned out, man. What did you guys think? I really want to know your opinion about this part over here. Well, our island is having a traffic jam, man. I think, no, it's not, no. I saw it here, but it's already gone. It's over. Our avenue here is now filled on both sides. We could put some trees here, right? See, it looks much nicer, right? Even for people to walk around here. There's the tram. And there are still a few blocks left to fill, which I'll probably do off camera, and I'll come back in the next episode with a time lapse. But we're almost done with the island, okay? I think in about 2 more episodes this will be finished. We also have to see, right? The industrial issue has been ongoing for several episodes, but I've been ignoring it. Since we brought here at least more, I started the episode with 90,000 inhabitants, right? There are at least 4,000 more inhabitants, right? I think the unemployment rate here has gone up a little. Yeah, it went up to 12%. Yeah, our industry really needs to produce ore here. Look, these are the biggest expenses. The biggest consumption actually is from imports. If you look, the 3 red bars here for both metal, coal, and stone are the biggest red bars. Along with grains, we needed to plant some grains too. But the area here isn't fertile, right? So there wasn't much we could do. Man, there's a spot here with 706 tram passengers. Here at the station, there are a lot too, right? 406 passengers, although there's a bus stop here that people don't really use much. People want to ride the tram. Our platform is also pretty crowded, right? And I have to study a place to do some mining. Look, we have a lot of stone ore right here. There's some here too, right? On this upper part. It's kind of a plateau here, right? That also has some. And there's some over here probably. Next, man, I think I'm going to explore here, which should be calmer, right? Here we have a lot of things concentrated, right? And the infrastructure is already well defined, so I'll probably explore. I'll do some digging over here, okay? I'll try to make it like a market style than what I usually do with that hole in the ground, which will be different. You'll see, I already have some ideas. But that will be for the next episode. It's also good for us to change up the content a bit, right? Not just messing around, right? We've already been messing around here for quite a few episodes. I wanted to increase the number of carts here to 15 soon, but our garage isn't spawning. Look, remember it was at 11 vehicles, right? It was 12 dropped to 11, and now it's at 9. So the fleet keeps getting smaller. Oh, now it's coming out. Look, now it's leaving. Now yes, I found the problem, guys. The problem was here. Look, this point here, I don't know. I just deleted it, redid it, and it started working. There must have been some problem around here, right? Here we have this street getting in the way, right? I'm gonna try to redo it here just to see if it turns out. Okay, right. You have to get this signal here that says requires road. It's funny, right? With the street, it says it requires a road. Without the street, it doesn't need a road anymore. Crazy stuff. Look, bringing the street just up to here, look, it works normally. It's going to stay like this, man. At least we managed to solve this tram problem here. Now, most of the trams have already left. There are still 3 left to go, right? Oh no, I think there are only 15 on the line, right? So they've all left. That's good. Well, and here on the new avenue we built, I want to end the episode with you guys. I want to thank Giovanni Freitas, Jose Fernando, Nagal, Pedro Mendez, and Rafuxo by name for being here on the channel, right? From the channel's members club. I also want to thank our secretaries who, along with the vice mayors, are watching this episode in advance. And I want to thank our counselors who are the foundation and pillar of this channel. Also, their names are appearing right now as a way of saying thank you, right? Well, let's keep going. And I want to thank you too, even if you're not a member of the channel, but you're subscribed. You gave your like at the very beginning of the video, and leave a comment here on the series, okay? You are super important for this channel to keep going. We're always together. A big hug, and see you next time. See ya.